Today we are filming for the first time on my camera. Yeah, here we are. I'm hoping everything goes smoothly, filming this for the first time, and if it doesn't work out, then we'll just consider this like a test run or something. Today, I'm here to do a book haul. This year has been rough, to say the least, and I have definitely been engaging in some retail therapy. So I have quite a few books here in front of me. It was recently my birthday a couple months ago, and I also had book credits for various things, and also it's my business what I spend my money on, and I wouldn't judge you for buying a lot of books, so I hope that you will not judge me. Hopefully no one is egregiously offended by the number of books. Yeah, so let's get into it. I've got a lot of books I want to talk about. I want to start off with some books that I just bought a couple days ago at the library book sale. The first book that I have is Trust by Hernan Diaz. I have heard really, really good things about this book. I mean, it's the winner of the Pulitzer Prize, so of course I'm sure it is good. I believe this is like kind of a historical fiction. I think it sort of time jumps and it follows this family, this wealthy family, and kind of like what they had to do to get rich, basically, which normally is not the kind of thing that I would enjoy, but on the back it says that it puts 4 competing narratives into conversation with one another, and that it's an immersive story and a brilliant literary puzzle. And that sounds very compelling. I've seen this book at Goodwill so many times, and every time I almost get it, and then I don't, and then I kind of regret it. I'm excited to read it. Trust by Hernan Diaz. I'm sure it is gonna be a good time. Password to Larkspur Lane. This is a Nancy Drew book. I loved Nancy Drew when I was a kid. There's just something special about these shiny, hardbound books. I have sort of been collecting them over the course of my life. I obviously have not collected very many because this is book number 10, but this is the next one I would pick up for my collection. So yes, sorry, it's so shiny. I'm not sure what this particular one is about, but I'm excited to add this to my collection of Nancy Drew books, and I really want to actually go back and reread a lot of the ones that I really read and loved when I was a kid. So there's that. The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. I'm not normally a mass market paperbacks person, but I have the first Wheel of Time book in this size and format, and I like them to match. I have not started reading the Wheel of Time series, but I know that I want to because a lot of my friends say that it is their favorite book series ever, and of course I want to read the books that my friends love. There are quite a few books in the series, and that is a big reason why I have not started reading it yet, because I struggle committing to long series. My memory is not the best ever when it comes to recalling plots. So I think my biggest fear is that I will start reading it and really like it, but because I never read series books back to back, it'll take me a really long time to read it and I will forget what is happening in between every single book. Yeah, but again, really want to get to it at some point. I'm excited to be collecting the series because that means that when I do start it, I can go through all of them. And then I also picked up this really pretty copy of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I really like these Dover Thrift edition classics. I have read Pride and Prejudice once when I was a lot younger. I'd really like to reread it because I feel like I'd like it even more now. The Art Thief by Michael Finkel. Why are all of these books so shiny? Oh my goodness. This is a kind of a true crime story, but not a murdery true crime story, more like a theft true crime story. And I am so interested. I listened to this story on an episode of one of my favorite true crime podcasts, and they mentioned this book as being one of their references, and I really want to read it for myself. It's basically just the true story about this guy who pulled off like 200 heists in broad daylight in the middle of crowded museums, and all because he just wanted to hoard it for himself. He never sold it. I just find that so interesting, and I'm really excited to read this. I don't remember very much about it from the podcast that I listened to, so it'll be like experiencing it for the first time. This book is called Antibodies by Kevin J. Anderson, and it is a X-Files book. Those of you who know me know that I am really obsessed with the X-Files. I love it so much. I had to get this as soon as I saw it. Basically fan fiction in book form. Yeah, it was $2.50, so yeah. I know nothing about what it's about, except that there is probably something suspicious going on because that's what happens in the X-Files. The Martian by Andy Weir. Now, I didn't realize till I came home, this book is the classroom edition. When I saw that at the bookstore, I didn't think about it that much, and I was assuming that that probably just meant there were extra discussion questions at the back. But on the back of the book, it also says that this edition has classroom appropriate language. And when I looked it up, it sounds like they replaced some of the words, some of the language. Like all of the F words got replaced just basically to make it more PG, which is really funny. And normally I'd be more upset that I didn't have a copy of the original, but I don't know, it feels like kind of a novelty. And as long as it doesn't change the plot, like, I don't really care. I'm still gonna read this, and I'm sure it'll be a good time. Another one that I got, I don't know, you guys. I picked up A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, which is a book that is extremely notorious on BookTube for being sad, very depressing, like life-ruiningly depressing. And also, the author is, I think, problematic. So I knew that if I was gonna get this, I would definitely be getting it secondhand, which is what I did, because I have to say that I'm intrigued. Like, everything that everyone says about this book, a lot of it is things that I normally do like in books. Like, I don't know, I love books with strong friendships, found family, and that's what I've heard this book pitched as, and so I'm very curious, and I also kind of like sad, depressing books a lot of the time, and a lot of people who I really agree with their opinion on a lot of books do really like this. So I don't know when I'm gonna get around to it. I don't know what my plan is with this, but I am just so curious. Here it is. The Seed Keeper by Diane Wilson. I did actually read this book last year and I loved it. I'm just gonna read you what it says on the back because I don't feel like my words will be good enough to fully express what this book is about. So it says, one snowy winter's day, Rosalie Ironwing returns to the home from which she was taken as a child. Orphan, widow, and mother, journalist and gardener, Rosalie has spent the previous 2 decades watching as her white husband's family farm is threatened, first by drought and then by a predatory chemical company. Now grieving, she finally begins to confront the past and embrace the future, and in the process learns what it means to be descended from women with souls of iron, women who have protected their families, their traditions, and a precious cache of seeds through generations of hardship and loss. So yeah, it is definitely a heavier read, but it is so it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and I loved it so much. It jumps back and forth from the perspective of, I think, 3 different women, including Rosalie, and multi-generations of her family history. It's just so good. It's just so good. I think that everyone should read this. House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielowski. This is one of those books that I've known that I've wanted to read it forever and ever and ever, but I was always so intimidated by it. However, as I've said, I love a puzzle in a book. I love haunted house books. I feel like there are a lot of things about this book that I will really love, even if it takes me 10 years to read. I've always told myself if I found a used copy of House of Leaves out in the wild, I'd pick it up, and so that is exactly what I did. Yeah. Another book that I grabbed is Chain Gang All-Stars by Nana Kwame Adeji Brenya. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this book from a lot of my friends, my internet friends, you know who you are. I think this is a lot of commentary on America's prison industry. I'm super here for that. Chain Gang All-Stars is a kaleidoscopic look at the American prison system's unholy alliance of systemic racism, unchecked capitalism, and mass incarnation, and a clear-eyed reckoning with what freedom in this country really means from a new and necessary American voice. That is what Tommy Orange said in the New York Times book review, according to the flap of this book. You can't go wrong with that, and I'm so excited to read it. And I can't believe I found a hardcover copy for literally $5. I've heard it compared to The Hunger Games, but I'm expecting it to be even more poignant, if that makes sense. Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. Everything I've read from Alexis Henderson I've really loved. This is basically her dark academia book, and I don't know anything about it except that it's by Alexis Henderson and that I really want to read it. And I can't believe I found a hardcover copy of this. I've been wanting to get my hands on one ever since it came out. I don't buy new hardcovers usually, so Yep. And then next I'm gonna go over some books that I just sort of picked up other random places over the last couple of months. My grandmother asked me to tell you She's Sorry by Frederick Bachman. I have never read a Frederick Bachman book. This is about a girl named Elsa, and she has a really special bond with her grandmother. Her grandmother is like the only person who understands her. Her grandmother passes away and leaves a bunch of letters apologizing to all the people that she's wronged throughout her life, and Elsa has to go deliver these letters to those people. That just sounds very interesting. I love stories that are from the perspective of children, and I love this kind of contemporary adventure sort of where like a person has to deliver a bunch of things and go through very specific steps to like accomplish their goal. I don't know what it is about books like that, but they just always get me. So this seems like it's gonna be like that kind of thing. I really wanted to read a Frederick Bachman book for a long time. That's that one. The Bandit Queens by Parini Shroff. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. This copy's definitely like a little bit destroyed, but I've never found one in a thrift store, like ever. I'm pretty sure this is about a woman who, her husband mysteriously disappears one day and everyone thinks that she killed him. No matter what she says, everybody's like, no, obviously you killed him. And she's like, no, I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. After a certain period of time, she's like, okay, fine. I'm just gonna let everyone believe that I killed him, like whatever. And then people start asking her to kill their husbands. Assumedly, chaos ensues. I haven't read it, so I don't know. I've heard that this book is just a very fun time. We support women's rights and women's wrongs. Another book I just kind of randomly picked up is The Bazaar of Bad Dreams by Stephen King. This is one of his short story collections. Please ignore the Target sticker on the top. I did not buy it from Target. I'm boycotting Target right now. I'm gonna need to like break out some isopropyl to get all the gummies off, and I just haven't done that yet, so I haven't picked off the sticker because I don't want there to be a bunch of cat hair stuck to the front of the book. I haven't read a lot of Stephen King. I've pretty much only read Carrie. I'm determined not to give up on Stephen King so easily. I know a lot of people love him. I thought that a short story collection might be a good way to get a little taster. That being said, as we know, I don't typically love short story collections. I struggle with them a lot most of the time, but maybe this will be the time I finally like a short story collection. I've liked a couple. It's not like I never like them. I've liked a couple. And if you've read this, let me know if you liked it or where I should go next with Stephen King, because his books are all so long. Next, I grabbed The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. This is basically about people who are staying in this fancy hotel that was formerly a sanatorium and has been revamped, renovated. The main reason why I picked this up is because it is a thriller set in a snowstorm. There's a threatening storm in the middle of the Swiss Alps. The snow cuts off everyone's access to everything, and probably a lot of bad stuff happens. And I love snowstorm thrillers so much. I'm a big fan, and that's the main reason why I grabbed this. It's just because I want to read a snowstorm thriller. That's basically it. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I have already read this. I was gonna vlog it, but here's some backstory for why I haven't posted in so long. I hurt my back at work and tore a muscle in my abs. So for like basically a week, I was stuck on the couch on muscle relaxers and I could not do a single freaking thing. And it sucked real bad. And 2 days after that, I had to get my wisdom teeth out. So then I was stuck on the couch on muscle relaxers, couldn't do anything, and also couldn't chew. And it was not a good time. So I was not about to vlog that for y'all. That's the backstory for why I did not vlog me reading this book, because that was originally the plan. And instead, it kept me company while I was suffering. You all know what this is about. This is the second prequel to the Hunger Games original trilogy. It follows Haymitch during his Hunger Games, and it is pretty much exactly as devastating as you would expect. I would say it's probably my third favorite out of the whole entire series. My favorite being Catching Fire, which this honestly reminded me a lot of in a lot of ways, and then the Hunger Games first book being next, and then this one third. And I'll probably give a more in-depth review in the future. Next up, We Used to Live Here. This book, the author, this book, you guys, this book may have actually ruined my life. I've been dying to talk about this book. and I want everyone I know to read it. The author of this book originally wrote a lot of stories on Reddit, and I feel like you can tell because Reddit stories are some of the creepiest stories I've ever read in my life. It is so twisty. There are so many little clues and hints throughout, and you spend so much time questioning yourself. I don't know how to talk about this without giving anything away because there are so many little tiny details that seem like they wouldn't be important but actually are. We Used to Live Here is about this queer couple. They flip houses for a living. So they move into old houses, fix them up, and then sell them. And they move into this one house. Eve, the main character, is home by herself. She's very anxious and paranoid, which is extremely relatable, and throughout the whole story I was like, if anything, I need to work on my people pleasing. But basically, okay, so Eve is home by herself, and this random man knocks on the door with his family. He says, I used to live in this house when I was a child, and I just really want to bring my family in and give them a look around. Is that okay? I feel like that's even too much. I don't want to give anything away. I was literally, so I read this book from the library, completely lost my shit, went on Reddit, read all of the theories for this book. There's a whole Reddit community that is kind of semi role-playing as if this world is real, and also semi trying to solve the mysteries of everything going on in this book. I did that. I ordered my own copy immediately, and it is now like thick and won't close all the way because I had to write all of my notes on sticky notes, which are throughout the book. I started tabbing it, but I gave up because there were too many things that I wanted to tab. I don't know how to express to you how much I love this book. I think that if you like haunted house books, say, I'm not saying this is a haunted house book necessarily, but I'm also not saying that it's a haunted house book. I can't tell you anything else. You need to read it for yourself. A lot of people who love House of Leaves really love this book as well. That could be me too. So please consider reading We Used to Live Here so that you can join me in having your life completely decimated. Now we are on to books that I received for my birthday, which was at the end of March. Diavola by Jennifer Thorne. You guys, I love this book. I don't want to talk about it too much because I know I have before, but this is basically a haunted house book about Anna who goes on vacation with her family, and her family is kind of terrible. They are really toxic and horrible and mean to her and not good people. And so she's forced to go on vacation with them in Italy in an Italian villa, and it turns out that that villa is haunted because weird shit starts happening, people are doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing, and they awaken this ghost. The bad vibes get even worse. Last time I talked about it, I think I said that like the ghost doesn't do anything beyond stand behind them and be creepy. That is not true. I mean, she does do that, and that is terrifying, but this ghost is up to some serious shenanigans. There was more stuff that I picked up on the second time that I don't think I fully processed the first time reading it, but I loved it. It's just weird. It's weird in a way that I don't think is gonna work for everybody, but I really loved this book. It's really funny. Like, there are some genuinely hilarious moments that made me laugh out loud. Okay, next up I have a couple nonfiction books. The first is Plant You by Carly Bodrug. This is a cookbook. I picked this up because it's mostly a plant-based cookbook, and I'm not officially plant-based, but I don't eat that much meat. Something you may or may not know about me is that I am very not good at cooking. Whenever I do make something, it ends up pretty much fine. It's just that I kind of hate to cook. You know, I cook well enough to feed myself when I have to, but I'm not out here cooking like a full meal for myself from scratch like every single day. But I want to get better about that. And something that I really love about this cookbook is that it has pictures of all the ingredients, and every single recipe has it the same way, just plated top down. It doesn't look super fancy or anything. It just looks like how it would look if you made it, basically. Because that's something that bothers me about a lot of cookbooks, is they either have no pictures or their pictures are like really fancy lighting and like look basically nothing like how the food actually looks. when you try to make it as a person with limited cooking skills. I haven't actually cooked anything from it yet, but I did read it cover to cover. I'm hoping to make some of these things soon. And the other book I got that's nonfiction is Mending Life. I've read this before. I got it from the library, but I really wanted to have a copy for myself so I can reference it frequently. I really don't like saying goodbye to clothes. I'm emotionally attached to pretty much everything that I own, so if I can extend the life of my favorite objects that have holes or need to be repaired, then that is super amazing. And I've been wanting to learn how to mend things for a long time, so this book is really great. It has very good illustrations and it smells so good. Something about the ink that they use in this is just top tier. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangha Mandana. This is another book that I haven't read, and I believe I've heard this one compared to The House on the Cerulean Sea. This is basically like a grumpy sunshine romance, but witchy. So everything I know about this book is that the main character is a witch, but no one is supposed to know that she's a witch. So she has a TikTok account where she does real magic, but she pretends that it's just like special effects and stuff. Oh yeah, the other thing is that witches in this world are not supposed to be around other witches. Something about like their magical abilities become too much and bad things can happen, I think. Basically, she gets a message from someone who wants her to go to this house and basically tutor these young witches, and she agrees, even though she's technically not supposed to, and assumedly it becomes a very cute romance, and I'm excited. The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones. I have not read an Emily Lloyd-Jones book yet. All of her premises are just so interesting to me. I believe it's about this girl who comes from a family of grave diggers, and something is happening with the corpses. I think they might be rising from the dead, and I think there might be a curse, and I think that our main character might have to deal with that in some way. I'm pretty sure the bone houses are what they call the zombies that rise up from the graves. I love creepy things like that. And this is a young adult book, so it won't probably be too creepy, but sometimes young adult horror has this flavor, and it can either be a little on the cringy side or it can either be just extra magical. When it's a little extra magical, that is one of my favorite things. So yeah. Mirror Lake, which is one of the Shady Hollow books. This is the third. Excuse me. Takes place during the fall. I've read all these last summer. I don't own them all. I've been collecting them. It's one of my favorite series. They're very cozy. They have that cozy mystery sort of predictability that is really comforting, but I can see how if you do not like predictability, you might not like it. I do think that every single book just gets better and better in this series. When I read the first one, I wasn't super impressed, but I'm glad I kept going because every single book just gets better and better. The mysteries get more and more engaging. It is an adult mystery series, but all of the characters are animals, and I just think that is so fun. The main character is named Vera Vixen, and she is a fox, and her best friend is Lenore, who is a raven. It's just really fun and cute, and I don't know. I love these books. The Raconteurs Commonplace book by Kate Milford. This is another one of those Green Glass House books. I feel like I talk about these a lot. And this is technically the 5th book in the Green Glass House series. I skipped the 4th one because after the first 2, they can kind of be read in any order, and I really, really wanted to read this. The Raconteurs Commonplace book is the title of the book that Milo reads in Green Glass House. So this book is like the book that exists in the world of the Green Glass House series, and it has a lot of little Easter eggs that tie into the previous books. It's almost like a short story collection because each of the characters who are trapped at the inn in this book tell a story, but they're all interconnected, and you sort of, as the book goes on, you begin to understand how they're interconnected and what that reveals about the world. I just think this series is so cool. The setting is always in this fictional place of Nags Peak, which is, I think, in between the US and Canada. It's not a real place, but it feels like it is. And Kate Milford goes to such lengths to establish the lore of this fictional world. It is really cool, and it is a middle grade series, but I think that these books are just really fun. I love a book within a book, and now I only have one more Green Glass House book to read. And then the next 3 books are graphic novels. Mooncakes. This book is so cute. I read this for the first time in 2023, and I loved it. I don't want to give any spoilers, but the color palette is so pretty. I loved it the first time I read it, but I feel like I loved it even more the second time, and I'm really glad that I have my hands on a copy. This is about a werewolf and a witch. They are old friends that meet again for the first time in a long time, have to solve this supernatural mystery of what's happening in their hometown. And it's very cute, it's heartwarming, it's magical, it's about family and love and just a whole bunch of good stuff. The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wong. This book is so cute and good. It also has a gorgeous color palette. This book made me cry. I don't cry easily during books. I had like a tear from each eye rolling down my face the second time I read it, and I still cried. This is basically about Francis, who is a dressmaker, and Prince Sebastian, who is supposed to be finding a wife. Basically, his parents are kind of trying to set him up with an arranged marriage situation, but secretly Sebastian dresses up in beautiful dresses and wears a wig and goes out at night and has a secret double life as a beautiful princess, basically. He hires Francis to make these dresses for him. It's very heartwarming, it's very good. The ending is amazing. It's basically like friendship, love, identity, all that good stuff. I love it and I recommend it. Are You Listening by Tillie Walden. I love Tillie Walden. I don't think I've properly expressed how much I love Tillie Walden. I want to say I read this for the first time in 2021. I think it's the first Tillie Walden I ever read. This is kind of a surreal, sad graphic novel. Again, beautiful artwork. It's just like a very magical, surreal road trip. Another highly recommend. This is a little bit like science fiction-y, speculative, I guess. Oh, and then the last one is one that I got from a book box. This one is A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is the sequel to A Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. I believe this is going to be a trilogy. I hope so, because I really like it. And look at how pretty this is. It's got it underneath also, which is very cool. I don't know how to explain the plot of this without talking about the first one, because this is the second one, and also I have not read it. But the main characters are meant to kind of be reflective of Sherlock and Watson. And the series is also queer, and it has a lot of reflection on disability, which I think is cool. It's like a fantasy mystery adventure series. I'm sorry for moving around so much, it's just that my leg is falling asleep. Yup, those are some of the books that I have recently obtained. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, thanks for watching my first video on my new camera. I'm hoping for there to be many more. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.